It's not like Brittney Griner isn't one of the premier players of the WNBA. It's not like she's not a star of the WNBA. She's one of the WNBA star players.
Yes.
So the fact that this story has come out and hasn't really resonated, not just on a world stage, but even in the Black community, really. Like, because people are like, well, she knew better than to have a vape pen over there and da da da. I'm like, well, she's been playing back and forth internationally for years. So I'm sure
she's a gold medalist. Yes.
Gold medal. So I'm sure she knows what she can do and what she can get away with it, how to get around stuff, or what people take serious. And if they detain her this long for vape pens, we know it's not about vape pens. Like, let's be 100. Let's be real. They not really detaining her because they think she's like moving some drugs, like, because they know who she is. They know she's an American basketball player. The dudes are over there playing. It's the young ladies who have to, supplement their income by playing overseas in the off seasons.
Let's embark on the Arc Republic to hear current news that's published. More than gossip and chatter, covering current affairs that matter. We talk issues with professional views, all keeping you in queue. We wanted a higher vibe for these days and times, to free the voices and minds, reporting the sign of the times, so all can build. Let's shine, yeah.
WNBA player Brittney Griner, if I'm saying her name correctly.
That's correct, Brittney Griner.
Was detained, all these detentions right now, was detained February 17th in Russia. The allegations that Russian officials are saying was that she held a considerable amount, or some amount, we don't know what considerable means, of cannabis vape cartridges in her luggage. Brittney Griner was there because she plays for a Russian team off season, but she's been detained by Russian authorities, and as of yet, when I checked, she has not had proper representation, nor are they allowing access for the U.S. Embassy to step in or speak to her. And so, at this time, Representative Colin Allred of Texas said that, that there is a lot of grave concern. On the flip side, you hear very little about this story too. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about, why was somebody in Russia February 17th, right when there's these talks of war?
Well, because we know from reports that Putin had decided before he went in that he was going in there. He had long decided, and I think detaining her probably was part of, him playing chess, honestly, because people are like, well, she knew better than to have a vape pen over there and da da da. I'm like, well, she's been playing back and forth internationally for years. So I'm sure
she's a gold medalist. Yes.
Gold medal. So I'm sure she knows what she can do and what she can get away with it, how to get around stuff, or what people take serious. And if they detain her this long for vape pens, we know it's not about vape pens. Like, let's be 100. Let's be real. You know what I mean? They not really detaining her because they think she's like moving some drugs, like, because they know who she is. They know she's an American basketball player. And that's probably the biggest American basketball player they could get, honestly, because not like the dudes are over there playing. It's the young ladies who have to, supplement their income by playing overseas in the off season. So it's weird that even when the story did come out, it still didn't make a lot of noise.
Which is, I think, what maybe Putin thought he had like a huge bartering chip, but he found out very quickly that black women in America, nobody.
And a black masculine presenting.
Yes.
Gay black woman at that.
A gender fluid, same-sex married woman. You think she's a huge bartering chip?
You think that's gonna be the bargaining chip for America? No.
Yeah, I said bargaining. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you guessed wrong on that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, even when the story came out, it kind of like, damn, that's crazy. Oh well. Like
there
that was like
which is indicative of the WNBA versus the NBA.
Right. Because if they would have had Chris Paul over there.
Oh my goodness. It would be like people protesting. Black people would have been coming out in droves. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And Brittney Griner, it's not like Brittney Griner isn't one of the premier players of the WNBA. It's not like she's not a star of the WNBA. She's one of the WNBA star players.
Yes.
So the fact that this story has come out and hasn't really resonated, not just on a world stage, but even in the Black community, really. Like, because, you know, I'm in a lot of sports groups on Facebook, and I follow a lot of sports pages on Instagram. So I follow sports pretty closely, more specifically basketball, because I'm one of the few guys who really love WNBA basketball as well. Because, you know, not to get on my basketball snooty shit. But
you can. I played basketball at Washington Preparatory High School.
Oh, I know. But
I rode that bitch like a
I loved watching the girls play because they can't depend on just athleticism. So the fundamentals of the game come through. So if you actually want to watch beautiful basketball, because like one of my favorite things to do is watch girls college basketball, because that is the most fundamentally sound basketball you're probably going to see on TV. So if you just want to watch some good, beautiful basketball, like the passes are going to be the right passes, the plays going to be the right plays, that's why I'm a big fan of the WNBA. I even took my daughter to a couple of the games last season, and now they build an all-star team in LA. So I'm gonna take her to a few Sparks games this season as well. But I said all that to say, Brittney Griner is a premier player in this league. And the fact that it didn't even resonate with our community to be like, yo, wow, you know, and I thought that was interesting, because I expected it from the hierarchy. I didn't expect Joe Biden to be like, oh, they got Brittney Griner over there, we got to go do. I didn't expect that, but I did expect our community to be a little more, you know, have a little more value about what was going on, and that didn't happen, and that was very, you know, very interesting to me and intriguing at the same time.
Right. But this goes to my point, the last conversation we had about fatherhood and girls, right? And so when you talked about how Black women say, oh, you know, as a Black woman, I don't feel protected in an intimate space. You know, those who love us, we're protected, but in public discourse, in that public sphere and domain.
This is an example.
This is an excellent example of what it is that we're talking about. I think another thing that is also important that we underscore or highlight is that unlike NBA players, WNBA players off season have got to search for extra income, and they've been going overseas, you know, for that. And even before there was a WNBA, European basketball was the most viable option to have a career after college. Hence, Love and Basketball, the movie, right?
Right.
And so there's a history of Black women being in these foreign spaces or these European spaces. And you know what? Other than Love and Basketball, we don't even know what their experiences are.
Right.
I don't know. Right. And some of these people I played high school ball with end up playing in European ball, and I never asked them what it was like.
Right.
So, I mean, that's okay, let's just say she had vape pens. If you are playing off season and on season, your body is hurting. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And cannabis, a lot of athletes are starting to come out and talk about how cannabis is one of the remedies that they help in terms of dealing with alleviating pain.
The pain and the healing process. And like you said, like trying to get back on the court faster. These are all things that are needed. And again, so anybody who tries to get like super self-righteous, like she shouldn't have had, like, I hate that stuff. Like she shouldn't. I'm like, look, even if she had it, we know that what they detaining her about isn't about. So let's keep the main thing the main thing. We know what they're detaining her about is not really that. So let's dive in and be a little more critical, you know, like get more critical thinking going in regards to why they decided to hold her like this and why they're still holding her. Like you said, that was in January. This is in March. Like, but I'm like, you know, so I'm not super privy to the weed laws of Russia. But again, like I said, she's been going and moving out this space for years. So I'm sure she knows what's up. She knew what she was doing. And there should be, you know, a little more public discourse about this and about her, you know, being detained.
Look, there's more drugs in one of them billionaire super yachts than Brittney Griner will have in her entire life. All right, let's keep it a buck. And added to that, I have yet to see any NBA player come out in support of Brittney Griner.
They have been wildly quiet. I mean, the NBA really has no issues coming out talking about, you know, things that are going on in the community or things that they have problems with. I haven't even heard reporters asking NBA players about Brittney Griner. So that is interesting. And maybe there's a wrinkle that we don't know about Kaya, because at the least you probably would have heard LeBron James say something like free Brittney Griner, and you haven't even seen or heard that. So I don't know. That's wow. I didn't think about that. But like I said, I've been watching press conferences and I haven't even heard them asking NBA players about Brittney Griner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the gap that we talk about between male and female sports competitions. That has gone on for a very long time, and on either side, it's still plantation politics, in my opinion, regardless, right? Very gendered, but plantation politics nonetheless. But I'm definitely following this Brittney Griner case to see exactly what you talked about, the other political implications about this and what it looks like. And I hope she is okay, and I hope she's still alive. That's the part I wanted to talk about. I remember now. I remember. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut this all up. But another thing that we did a story. No. So one of the newsroom people, Yolanda, actually did this story about how a guy from Newark was playing overseas and how he was forced to get out, right? But I started looking more into it. A lot of the basketball players were saying how in Ukraine, the league told them that if they left early, then there would be some type of consequences of them being early. So they were held. And so they were like, this is the only kind of like viable career I have right now. And so they said it was only when they started bombing. Wow. They were like, oh, okay, you got to go.
Oh, now y'all can go.
So let's talk about this labor exploitation that is going on in Europe. So I'm pretty sure that this is also leaking into or applies to the women, probably even more so in the women's sport. So I wanted to bring that facet of it up too, because people are like, well, why these people didn't get out? They should have been out. If I was out, I should have gone out. Well, now you know that they were economically being held by contracts, right? So I wanted to bring up that point too, but we will be definitely seeing what happens in this Brittney Griner case.
Let's embark on the Ark Republic to hear current news that's published. More than gossip and chatter, covering current affairs that matter. We talk issues with professional views, all keeping you in queue. We wanted a higher vibe for these days and times, to free the voices and minds, reporting the sign of the times, so all can build, let's shine, yeah.